Okay, so this is the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
So at exactly 3 o'clock, hit admit all.
Okay. What if I do it before then?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just trying to figure out time limits.
We're fine. I mean, we're going to be shutting this off, you know, in 30 minutes or 35 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it's 2:59 now.
Okay. Make sure your computer volume is all the way up so you can hear message notifications and stuff.
All right, well, let's go ahead and sign in. Let's go ahead and get me going. Admit all.
Okay, admit all.
We'll be talking, so. Now you did it.
Where?
Connecting, son.
They can all see you.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. Welcome, everybody. We'll get the meeting started here shortly. Brand new Titan Talks. Appreciate you joining in. We got several still joining in here, it looks like. So give us a few minutes. Glad to be doing this and glad to have you all wanting us to do this. Please bear with us. This is a casual event that we're putting on with the great help of a couple of people, which I'll show you in a moment. And it's not going to be polished, but hopefully it's going to be fun and informative. So we'll give a couple of more minutes here and then we'll start the session. Please keep your microphone muted so that we don't hear you coming through with everyone else. And so we'll get started in a moment. Also at the, we'll do some question and answers at the end of this where we'll look at whatever you've texted or typed in on the text, and we'll see what we can do to answer some things on questions and just generally chat. Like I say, this is the first run. We'll see how it goes and look forward to improving upon it and doing it more often if that's what everybody would like to see. So we'll give it a couple of more minutes, another minute or two here, and then we'll get going. Thank you, Nate. We appreciate you thanking me for doing this. All right. I think it's about time to get going. Again, welcome to the first Titan Talks. Let's see. Can I see me or what? All right, there we go. Welcome to Titan Talks. We'll start this over again. I'm Jim Humphrey, owner of Titan Trains. I've been doing this about 35 years or over 35 years, and glad to have you all as an audience and hope we can have a little bit of fun and learn something. Let me start by introducing two of the people that are making this possible. Corey Krauser, he's going to come in the view and say hi.
Hey there, everybody.
And Corey is our social media and marketing manager. And then Emily Chanot.
Hey guys.
She's partner of Corey and a big help on getting this presentation going. She's taken a break from being an actress in LA right now. Being I think LA is pretty well shut down from that sort of activity. So thanks for both of y'all putting this on, and we look forward to doing it more. All right, like I say, please keep your microphones muted. Right now, we're going to put up the little bit of the PowerPoint of the presentation, and we'll go through it as I walk to the back of the shop or front of the shop, and we can, I'll point out things on the locomotive. We're going to be talking about the basic components and a little bit about maintenance and its operation. Again, this is the beginning. Should be a lot more to follow. And here we go. You'll see some of the shop as we're going. All right, we got to turn the camera around. Bear with us here. We'll get there. Okay. Like I say, this isn't polished, but we're giving it a whirl. All right, let's change it.
Like it's just blend out.
Okay. You can also see some of the shop as we're walking around. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. There, a little bit better. Some of these points on the PowerPoint is what we'll discuss when I get to the locomotive. I'll point them out in person. This presentation will be available on download on the website. There we go. We're getting the hang of it. Thank you for putting up with us. All right, let's make sure we've got right. We got 3 people waiting in the waiting room. No.
Yeah. Sorry.
There. Are they waiting? Are they in? All right, here we go. Here's a new product that's finished, going to Michael Murphy and out in California. I think he's getting the first look at it right now if it's finished. And here we go to the locomotive. Now I'm going to point out things. So
Here.
Emily is going to now man the camera, and I'll point out some things. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The base of the start of our locomotive is a Briggs & Stratton 16 horsepower V-twin Vanguard motor, gas motor. Most all these components are the similar components that we've been using for almost 20 years, with a few upgrades. We have a 40 amp alternator that is important for powering the auxiliary 12 volt accessories to the locomotive. The engine RPM throttle, which controls the engine RPM up or down. It's a very simple servo mechanism. It's on a cam, so you can't break it, you can't hurt it, but you can get backwards and you got to hold the button down until you get back on track with using it. But it is electronically controlled from the control box. Our unique quiet muffler and quiet exhaust system, so that the engine does not sound like a lawnmower. It sounds very locomotive-ish, industrial-ish. It's not loud. You can stand beside it and talk. And we do have a video in our on our website of the engine running and sound systems that are available. Another part of our locomotive is the hydrostatic hydraulic pump. This particular one we've been using for almost 10 years. Great service, great availability. It's been a great thing for us to have. We've used this. It's powering up to 3 locomotives. You have 1 main locomotive and 2 slugs. It's also the same system that's used in park train rides. People saw us using it and then it migrated to park train rides. So it's a very heavy duty pump and it really works. It really works well. Our air horns, that's another standard feature of the locomotive. hydraulic tank, gas tank. Then here we have our tray holding some of our components, where we have a hydraulic oil cooler, 12-volt fan exhausting hot air from the oil cooler and from the overall locomotive chassis. Gas gauge, fuse panel, gas fill. When you're going to fill up the locomotive, you turn the pump on and you pull out the hose, take off the cap, and you dip it in your gas can, turn on the pump with the ignition on, and it'll automatically fill up the gas tank, and then automatically stop when it's full. When it's full, you make sure you turn off the fill. Okay? Put the cap back on, and you'll put the hose back in the locomotive. All of this is through an access panel that's on top of the locomotive. You do not have to take the body off. Charging plug, we have locomotives come with a set of cables that go with the, so that you do not have to take the body off to jump start the locomotive or to charge it. Okay, moving around, this is the manual control version. This is the basic locomotive. It's the standards which all of the other locomotives are built off of, where we add options and features anywhere from a tethered wired control to wireless control, bells, sound systems, ditch lights, all the features that we offer. But this one is basic. It also has the manual control handle extension. And you can see the control panel for the horn, engine RPM, or headlight. You can kill it here or start the locomotive from here. The strip valve. This is, you pull this out and the locomotive can be pushed manually when it's not operating, so that you can move it back and forth when you're loading or putting it away from storage. 12-volt battery. Then here's our electronics section, our relays, and then any of the wireless controls or wired control or ditch light circuitry also goes here in this section. Again, you can see our 12-volt fan for the hydraulics and our fuel pump that pumps the gas tank full. On all of the locomotives up towards the front, usually, or in some location, there's our headlight plug that you have to take off when you're going to take the body off. The ignition's usually always up front. You have to use this to get it started initially. Then you can use the control panel. All right, that gives you some basics of our locomotive system. As far as maintenance, very little maintenance to it. You know, check the air filter once a year. If it's particularly dirty, check it more than that. It's a good idea to take the body off using it heavily, take the body off every month and look over the overall system and check the oil, check the fluids, check the air filter, make sure the wiring looks good, make sure you don't see any problems. Otherwise, for most of the operators, checking it 2 or 3 times a season is very adequate. The oil that we use just a standard 30-weight oil. Dipstick is right here. Then you put the oil in here. You have to have the body off to check the oil and to add oil. Another feature that I forgot to mention is that there is a spring return on the control of the pump, which is powering the motors, the motor on each truck. So that in case you release the manual control lever, or in case there's a fault in the electronic system, you got the wired or wireless control, the locomotive automatically goes to neutral and stops. Something about this system, this is a hydrostatic hydraulic drive, which is also a closed loop system. It goes from pump, motor, back to pump. And then the reverse direction, pump itself just reverses that flow. Very simple, Very effective, very heavy duty system, long lasting. The hydraulic oil, almost never need to check it unless you have a leak, but there is a plug right here. Pull this plug out and look down in the tank, make sure the tank is about 2/3, 3/4 full. We use an AW32 oil, or, that's what we recommend. Rare that you ever have to add oil. You almost never have to change the oil unless it's in severe climate or operating condition. On the locomotive, on the trucks, is chain driven from the hydraulic motor to the axles. All axles are powered. Some people like to oil the chains, some don't like to oil the chains. It's not important whether you do or don't. Chains are extra heavy duty, so the sprockets and the chains will last a long time. That's more of a preference. Some people, if you oil the chains get dirty and wear quicker in some cases. In some cases, the dry chain wears quicker. It's really a matter of personal preference. You'll have long life everything. Now, I think we're going to go back to the office and take some questions and answers and talk further. And there's one of the Titan pups, Nyla. Again, Michael Murphy's new tank car, which is also a beverage car. Here at Titan Trains, we do a lot of in-house, most everything in-house from start to finish. Here's the paint booth, which is towards the finish line of the product making. You see some locomotive chassis, the locomotives being built, the bodies, various things. We have a very neat operation, which you're welcome to come see. We welcome tours. Glad to have anyone come by and see us. In future demonstrations, we will have shop tour. We will talk more about the locomotives, air brakes, our trucks, all kinds of things that we do. Coming back into the office where we can talk further. And we'll get situated here. And my crew here is going to try to let me know about some questions. We get set up.
We have one for Ronald. He's wondering what synthetic oil he should use for his GP30.
All right, Ronald. Synthetic oil is just something that we are going to start using ourselves and start incorporating in our product. I have to look up the specs and I will email you what that is. It's new to us using synthetic oil, but that is the wave of the future. So I will get back and we will post that. Thank you. Next question. Any questions?
We have one from Nate. Is there an option to MU more than one locomotive?
Well, you can MU a slug locomotive hydraulically. It's not very feasible to MU a second fully powered locomotive. It just doesn't work real well. It's hard to get all the controls to act together and correspond to each other off of one control, but it is extremely successful if we hydraulically power a slug unit. So you have two fully powered locomotives at that point off of one locomotive.
Ronald Heller points out that last time you met, it was in the old location when he picked up the GP30.
Gotcha. Yep, we've come quite a ways. This new facility we've been in for about 3 years, and it's been a wonderful, thank you, Ron, been wonderful for us. We were able to work with the town of Boone's Mill, which is where we're at, to refurbish this building and lay it out exactly how we would like to lay out a little train manufacturing plant.
Nate Brown wonders, do you use different horns based on the type of locomotive?
Right now, we only have one type of air horn as far as the standard air horn. It is it's a pretty good sounding air train horn. It's hard to get something that emulates exactly what the real horns are. Now we can add a sound system, and on that sound system, the real train horn can be put on it, and so that's the horn that you hear. I don't think it's quite as good as the horn, our regular air horn, but it's a customer preference, and we can do either.
Michael Murphy gives you a verbal thumbs up for his tank car.
Thank you, Michael. Michael's been a big supporter of us for many years. He's got a -9 and a -9 Slug. I think he's had it for about 12 or more years, operating out on the West Coast. Thank you much, Michael, for all your support.
Matt Irwin is curious, how many locomotives in rolling stock does Titan produce annually?
That's a good question. It's the answer is we are probably the largest manufacturer of this sort of thing in the country and probably the world. The numbers aren't that big, it's not that great, not that big of numbers, but it's safe to say that we have more than 300 plus locomotives out across the country and some of the world, and thousands of train cars. We do have a staff when we're fully operational, unlike right now during the coronavirus. We are reduced a little bit, but when we're fully operational, we have 10 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees, and we maintain that staffing level throughout the year. So we're constantly putting out locomotives, train cars, trucks, couplers, brakes, and whatever else accessory and supporting our products.
Doreen Leaf wanted to parrot what Michael Murphy said, which is very kind. And then Ronald Heller was agreeing with you, or he wonders, is it hard to change gauge?
All right, on the tank car, thank you there, Doreen. It would be great to use a train mountain as far as something. It's awesome as far as a beverage cooler. Everyone gets a big kick out of seeing you pull off the top and pull out your favorite beverage, whatever that might be. And it's just really neat, and everyone loves to see it. And it's also wonderful for the owner to have a beverage break. Ron, as far as changing the gauge, our position is it's not real successful to have a dual gauge locomotive as far as changing the gauge on the axles once it goes out the door. Unfortunately, the most successful way to change the gauge is to have another axle set or a whole truck set. That's very expensive. It's not a matter of us wanting to just sell you more product. It's a matter of success. It's extremely tough and time consuming to change out the gauge, even if it's built that way with spacers. And the way our product's built, you could loosen the nuts and change spacers, but keeping it that way as it's going through the track and traveling, it's tough. The most successful way for us as a manufacturer is to only build it as one gauge. And then if it has to be gauge changed, we change out the axles or buy new axles to do it. Some individuals have been successful at changing the gauge. That's generally on an individual basis. Generally, it's still troublesome, but it's hard for us to do, effectively for you.
Now, Nate Brown is wondering, he's new to the hobby, so he's wondering if going with battery or motor is the better option. He's not mechanically inclined.
We're not a locomotive anymore. We tried that. A couple of times we've tried the route of offering a battery-powered electric locomotive, and the physics of the room we have to put in motors and electrical components just doesn't work out to make a heavy-duty locomotive like our gas hydraulic version. And also, our gas hydraulic version is extremely easy to maintain and operate. Do not need to be mechanically inclined. It's turn the key and go. Whereas the battery, you do have to properly maintain the batteries. Even when we put in the proper chargers, it was tough to have people correctly maintain the batteries but unfortunately a battery locomotive is hard to perform like a gas hydraulic. A gas hydraulic locomotive can perform 100%, 100% all of the time, where a battery powered locomotive tends to, you can have short bursts of heavy pulling. It's hard to maintain heavy pulling on long tracks. And we have failed miserably at Train Mountain and other places on long grades and long trains. And we have backed away from that. So my recommendation is the gas hydraulic. It is easy. It's actually less expensive for us to build that and maintain and support you. All right, next.
So Matt Uren points out, in the past you visited tracks and clubs. Do you have any plans to make visits like that again in the future?
Yes, Matt, I do want to travel. Actually this year we would have been set up more so than in the past, probably 15 years to travel. We have our rig set back up. We're ready to go to see a few tracks. I do want to get back out there. It's been tough to get away in the past 15 years, just trying to get everything calmed down and production out the door and new products developed. But now we're got all that smoothed out in half for quite a while, and I'm ready to travel. So invite me to wherever it is, and we'll see if we can make it there. We look forward to that. Next.
Any other questions from anyone?
Well, certainly appreciate y'all participating in this. You know, if you want us to do it again, you know, email us or somehow tell us. We'll be glad to keep this going. Maybe there's a better time or a worse time. So, you know, let us know any of your thoughts. We would like to, you know, tackle other subjects or enhance what we've done today by talking more about the options and features on the locomotive, taking the body off, anything specific, you know, how we build our train cars, shop tour, and all kinds of other things.
Hello, Jim. Kenny Johnstone.
Hello, Kenny.
Hey, what's up there, Clean Living? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Kenny.
I have a question for you. Does
All
your
right.
bell, does Titan sell your bell unit separately, that whole apparatus, so that could be used with other possible equipment in the future?
Yes, our bell that we install on the locomotive as a bell option is available as a separate item, just as the bell, where you can purchase it and you have to wire it up, of course, to your own bell circuit switch, but it is available. I think it's basically whatever the price is on the website, which I think is $285 for the bell, and that will include shipping.
Oh, excellent. Good. Good seeing your face there, young fella.
Thank you. You take care, Clean Living.
And then we
Yes,
have
sir.
one last question and then a lot of thank yous. Nate Brown is wondering if there's any high cube cars coming up on the special deal and if there's going to be an electronic bell option soon.
Well, as far as we don't really have a high cube car right now as far as developed. That is a future product to develop and make available. Right now, that sort of car is something that Scott Weatherford of Scott's Trains does extremely well, and don't mind putting a plug in for him because he's a very good fellow and a very fine train builder. As far as an electronic bell option down the road, the sound system does have, could be an electronic bell instead of putting on the bell that we have. It's my opinion. On our trains, our real bell going ding, 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 and our real air horn sounding is exceptional, presents very well, loud, and very noticeable compared to trying to emulate the sound of the real thing. Now, that being said, our motor sound on the sound system does overpower any other noise of the engine, which I shouldn't even say noise, but the sound. It's a ground thumper. Our sound system is a ground thumper as far as the prime mover of a real locomotive. So it's worth the money if that's something you want. Any other quick question here before we take off. We were trying to hold this to about 30 minutes, and so we don't bore you too much. So anything else? Well, we thank you. Appreciate y'all thanking me for doing this. We look forward to doing this in the future. Well, let's see if this, I think we have something that came up here, see if we can get rid of that. All right, back to me. Also welcome to have your ideas and suggestions. Tell your friends, look for us on Facebook and Instagram, and we certainly appreciate this. Thank you. All right, bye-bye.